As I alluded to a little earlier, depth of the dock can be very, very important. In fact, it can be the single most important thing to really key on. That's why you always want to look when you catch a fish, how deep of water that fish came out of. A lot of it's triggered by the banks. As I said earlier, analyze where you think the fish should be if there were no docks. And that's going to make your job a lot easier. If you think they should be on shallow banks, and those banks have got docks on it, that's a good deal. If you think they should be on the steeper chunk rock banks, and they got boat docks on them, that's where I'm going to be fishing. So the boat docks are just a bonus piece of cover, and that's the way you've got to look at them. Don't dwell so much on the boat docks themselves as where the fish should be without them. And then because there's docks there, it's going to attract even more fish, and it's going to concentrate them in places that's going to make it easier for you to catch those fish and get a lure in front of their nose. But as it gets a little colder now and that water temperature drops down, then I'll go to a brown jig or green pumpkin jig and fish it almost exclusively, 100% of the time, and I'll get in a lot of that 10 to 20 foot water around the boat dock, some of them deeper crappie piles and places like that, and I'll fish those places on through the winter time. And a lot of them will be main channel, some of them will be ends of bluffs, but a lot of them will be in some of the bigger creeks. There'll be channel swings that got boat docks on them where people have planted brush piles, and some of them will get, some of those fish will get out in 25 foot of water. So you don't want to limit yourself on this lake, and some lakes they'll get even deeper than that. So just because a boat dock's sitting over deep water doesn't mean it won't catch fish. And we've got some boat docks that'll actually sit over 45, 50 foot of water, and they may not be on the bottom under those docks. So what they'll do is they'll suspend right underneath the styrofoam, and then you can take a little 1.5 or a 2.5 and just run along the sides and catch a lot of fish doing that. Or swim a jig if you want to swim a jig. That can be an effective technique. So.